I will read now. It's called Love Sonnet 17 by Pablo Neruda, and it goes like this. I do not love you as if you were a Zaltros or topaz or the arrow of carnations the fire shoots off. I love you as certain dark things are to be loved, in a secret between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that never blooms but carries in itself the light of hidden flowers. Thanks to your love, a certain solid fragrance risen from the earth lives darkly in my body. I love you without knowing how or when or from where. I love you straightforwardly without complexities or pride. Thank you, Michael. Chilean, yeah. I wasn't sure. I love you straightforwardly without complexities or pride. So I love you because I know no other way than this, where I does not exist, nor you. So close that your hand on my chest is my hand, and so close that your eyes close as I fall asleep. Thank you for your researching. Sometimes I am right. Yeah, I should know by now. It's one of my really favorite poets, and I should keep in mind from where he comes from. Thank you. Anybody have to share a poem? Yes, that's correct. Anybody would like to share a poem? Of course, Michael. The mic is yours. I will just make a bit place for you on the stage at the lecturnal. Please, the mic is yours. Sadly, I did not put even a post bars yet at this place. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't even warn you with anything because we are still building and it's not set up yet. You just have to stand there.
I tried.
Oh, sorry, Michael.
No worries. Okay, so we used to do this. I'll do this and hope. Oops, hold on one second. I forgot that I covered the short bio of Pablo Neruda. Give me 1 minute, and I will hopefully get this back up. Okay. So, my little girl, oldest little girl, she turned 14 yesterday, and I wrote a little poem for her. Not as good as my usual poems for her, but it goes like this. As soon as I find it again. Uh, Outside my shadow. Happy birthday, Angie, at 14. Has it been a life or some kind of a dream? It's hard to believe that you're turning 14. 14 years ago tomorrow. So I wrote it, on Sunday. You first opened your eyes, taking away my sorrow and bringing a million surprises. You say you came a little bit early, but who can really know these things? All I know is the joy that you brought me, and the happiness that each day brings. Joy of being your father and your sister being my daughters. I might have been richer, but I'll never be poor. When you hold my hand, I couldn't ask for more. Here you are, standing by my side, growing into quite a young lady. All of your ways bringing me pride, as they have since you were a baby. I still remember that day you turned on the ultrasound to my side to say hello, and I see your brilliance and all you've learned, blossoming as you are from outside my shadow. It's hard to realize you must be your own, instead of always under my overwhelming impression. I need to trust in you as you are nearly grown. This happy father treasures you and makes concession. You are grown, treasured as you are in my heart. I know you're resilient have from the start. I still remember the day you turned on the ultrasound to my side to say hello. I see your brilliance in all your blossoming as you have from outside my shadow. For Angie turning 14.
No, don't worry, please. It's perfect. Thank you. But it just could at the end of the poem. It was like good, but it was a wonderful one. And thanks a lot for sharing. I wish every father would be to his daughters like you are to yours. And actually, I don't know. I was recently. Hello, Mirko. Nice to meet you. Again. I didn't write anything maybe since 2 years. And recently I was starting to go to poetry events again as I turned back to Second Life, and I started to write again. But I got also my secret inspiration that I will not reveal yet. And I wrote several poems that are so, but I would like to read for now a poem that won recently a contest, and it was very funny contest because it was a contest of the National Orgasmic Day or something like this. And I was like, okay, I'm there. I was a bit surprised with the topic of it, and I wasn't prepared at all. But I wrote one time a prompt word, a poem prompt word was embers, and I was thinking, okay, maybe it doesn't fit exactly in the topic, but it fits somehow. And I did read it, and I won. So together with Leslie, she got the exact number of from judges, and yeah, thank you. And I'm going to read this one. It's called Embers. The fever is burning me, infinitely divine. It is perfection of creativity. It is the silence between us, which extracts feelings, desires, tears to be a poem. The fever is burning me infinitely for a moment. So in a while I can shine, we can. All over again. Thank you. That was Embers by me. And recently I wrote on the prompt word at the Milkwood. It is such kind of event for those who don't know, that we go there, we get one word to write, and we get one word to write. Wait, because there is a poet in our skybox, and I'm going just TP him because I know NM is really a nice French poet. Okay, hi NM, nice to see you at my event. Please take a seat. And back to the story I was to tell about the prompt word. What is the prompt word? We go to Mirkut. It is a place where the writers meet, and we get a word, some word by the host, and we have like 2 sessions of half hour each to write either a poem or a story about this. And I didn't write since 2 years, nothing. It was like I couldn't find any inspiration. And yesterday I was sitting there and I listen. I read the word lesson, and the words just come out itself. And it is very personal poem, guys. And enough speaking, I will read it. It goes like this. In those earliest days, when I was 17 and I didn't know who I was, defenseless, waiting for a hint from a god or from the devil, but saw as much I didn't get any, so I keep searching for some. Walking the streets down alone, smoking my first cigarette, trying cheap wine and sex and live life to the bones. And I have seen that it doesn't have to be how it has to be and how I have been told it must have been. I rebelled louder in time, like a troubadour wandering through cities and countries with a missing purpose. Escaped out of four walls, a place called home, into the cold and rain and snow and tears, into new sounds, new scents, and somehow into new me. From a home that was never a home, from the man who masked assaults with the word stepfather, from a mother who pretend to not see things that every day happen. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And number 5, me, the oldest unwanted number. And the cold and the rain and the snow and the tears were good, and the cities and countries, its spaces haunting me, sometimes even today in my dreams, were good too. The world is mine to be. Unwanted lessons of life are the best lessons I got. My true or they truths or anybody truths are not the only truths that the world knows. There is so much more behind the closed doors of places called homes. So please, go. Go and open them. Unfold your wings. Learn dreams to be yours, not somebody else. Do as I did, and I have got them under my skin and out of my skin, all mine and infinitely free. Thank you. I got a bit emotional reading this, sorry guys. Anybody wish to share a poem? Please do not hesitate and leave me a message in private message, and then you will be the next reader in the queue. And welcome back, Michael. I'm sorry, I got disturbed by my daughter. Sorry, back now. And anybody want to share a poem? Please do not hesitate and let me know, and you'll be next reader in the queue. And meanwhile, does somebody have a poem to share, guys? Yes, you missed the second poem, Michael. Do I have to read it again? I can't. Really? No, okay, I will read it. Should I? Okay, I will. But it. Okay, guys. I will paste it on Knockout Chat because it's. I closed already this note card. Let me find it. One moment. Oh, stupid. Cannot find it. You know what? In 70 items inventory, something to find is not always easy, but my note cards are such a mess. Handkerchief, okay, thank you. And then, oh, I have it. And I will paste it on local chat, but please, guys, don't give it to anybody because this poem is not published yet, and I would like to put it in the book I'm going to publish. Why I want to, it doesn't want me to open the poem Wind. Poetry prompt poem lesson. Okay, good. Here it is, and I'm pasting it now on local chat. Okay, now I'm reading it again. Prompt word lesson. It was at the Milkwood at and it goes like this. In those earliest days when I was 17 and I didn't know who I was, defenseless, waiting for a hint from a god or from the devil, but so as much I didn't get any, so I keep searching for some, walking the streets down alone, smoking my first cigarette, trying cheap wine and sex and live life to the bones. And I have seen that it doesn't have to be how it has to be and how I have been told it must have been. I rebelled louder in time, like a troubadour wandering through cities and countries with a missing purpose. Escaped out of four walls a place called home, into the cold and rain and snow and tears, into new sounds, new scents, and somehow into new me. From a home that was never a home, from the man who masked assaults with the word stepfather, from a mother who pretended to not see things that happen, that every day happen. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and number 5, me, the oldest unwanted number. And the cold and the rain and the snow and the tears were good, and the cities and countries, its spaces haunting me sometimes, even today in my dreams, were good too. The world is mine to be. Unwanted lessons of life are the best lessons I got. My true or they truths or anybody truths are not the only truths that the world knows. There is so much more behind the closed doors of places called homes. So please, go and open them, unfold your wings, learn your dreams to be yours, not somebody else. Do as I did, and I have got them under my skin and out of my skin, all mine and infinitely free. Thank you. That was the poem. With my broken English. Thank you, and thank you, Sis, and thank you, Michael. Meanwhile, anybody who want to share a poem, please do not hesitate and send me the confessional. I don't know if confessional, but it's a very personal one, and it's like very, very, very much personal poem that I like to share. And as I said, it was the first one I wrote in a long time, so maybe I should start to ask one by one if anybody have a poem, because I am the only one. I am the only one reading. Autumn, Mirko, Socrates. Nice. And then you can read also one in French, you know that. Oh, you can look for Annabelle Lee. I will read it in English, and you can read it in French, because I love how it sounds in English. In English too, but in French even better. Okay, what I wanted to say, Michael have always some beautiful poems to share. I don't know, maybe the last one you shared, code. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. It's up to you, Michael. No, I don't know, Michael. Just up to you. I don't want to say anything. There was a lot of nice poems you wrote. You have a wall page, internet page of your poems, like hundreds of them. The mic is yours.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the one I wrote this morning, what was it, 5 minutes? Something like that. Okay. And that's my real name, in case anybody's wondering why there's a difference there. Alright, so caught within your smile. At every turn and every bend, my heart seemed to just follow the drift of the blowing wind, moving to and fro to the flow that keeps me moving ahead, thinking on beauty and then wondering back to things said. Should it have just been a whim? But there always something eternal that I catch in your beautiful smile, while I constantly am a bit infernal. Every moment spent is worth the while. That is as long as it is spent with you, looking into your beautiful eyes agreeing and thinking of all or on all that you say and do, when I realize how sweet it is to mean what it is that I mean to you and you to me. Pardon me. Every day and plays out in its deep emotion as your lips promise my fantasy of your touch and your loving devotion. I was sad the day you had missed me on return, and I missed you of only passing words and play. That is until the moment that I came to learn, show and say, my beautiful princess, with your answer to me, and
You
I will
could,
make.
Michael.
What happened?
You could the last few lines, last 3 lines, maybe, or.
Oh, okay. I so apologize. Hang on one
Don't
second.
worry, we had the poem on local chat, so
Hold on. There we go.
I did read it.
And
Wonderful.
I got a couple typos I gotta fix too. So I'm gonna be doing that while you guys read the 3 lines. Thanks.
Wonderful one. Thank you, Michael. So I will go on with no, not with Clooney. It should be Annabelle Lee. I have it on the page out of. I need to see if I can copy this one. Oh God, I cannot copy this in the chat. I'm sorry. This some poetry foundations or pages, yes, please paste it, because some poetry is like if you don't buy it, you cannot even copy it in a Word or any note card on your PC. It's like that's wonderful. Please do it. Thank you. Great, okay. I'm going to read it now. And it's Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and to be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than a love. I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that winged seraphs in heaven coveted her and me. This was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, the winds blew out of cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee. So that her highborn kinsmen come and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind come out of a cloud by the night, chilling and killing my Annabelle. I'm sorry, I'm just have problems with pronunciation. That that the wind came out of a cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of my beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the side of the sea. That was really not easy to read. And it was a long poem. I couldn't read this such a poem, long poems back 3 years ago, because it was like, for me, something really hard in English. Okay, thank you, guys. You were kind. And now I give the mic to NM.
Thank you very much, Annika. Well read, yes, you did well. In French now, it's easy for me, so Annabel Lee. C'était il y a longtemps, très longtemps, dans un royaume au bord de l'océan. Il vivait une vierge que vous pourriez connaître du nom d'Annabel Lee. Cette vierge vivait sans autre pensée que de m'aimer et d'être mon aimée. Elle était une enfant et j'étais un enfant, dans ce royaume au bord de l'océan. Mais nous aimions d'un amour qui était plus que de l'amour, moi et mon Annabel Lee, d'un amour tel que les séraphins du ciel nous jalousaient, elle et moi. Et c'est pourquoi il y a longtemps, dans ce royaume au bord de l'océan, les vents firent éclater un nuage et glacèrent ma toute belle Annabel Lee. Si bien que ses nobles parents sont venus et l'ont emportée loin de moi, pour l'enfermer dans un tombeau dans ce royaume au bord de l'océan. Les anges, loin d'être aussi heureux que nous au ciel, nous envièrent, elle et moi. Oui, c'est pour cela, comme chacun le sait dans ce royaume au bord de l'océan, qu'une nuit le vent surgit d'un nuage et glaça et tua mon Annabel Lee. Mais notre amour était beaucoup plus fort que l'amour. De nos aînés, de bien des personnes, beaucoup plus sages que nous, et jamais les anges du ciel là-haut, ni les démons au fin fond de l'océan, ne pourront séparer mon âme de ma toute belle Annabel Lee. Car la lune ne luit jamais sans qu'elle me porte des rêves d'Annabel Lee, la toute belle, et les étoiles ne se lèvent jamais sans que je sente les yeux vifs d'Annabel Lee, ma toute belle. Ainsi, aux rives de la nuit, je me couche à côté de ma chérie, ma vie, ma promise, dans son tombeau là au bord de l'océan, dans sa tombe à côté de l'océan. Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you, Annika, and everyone.
That was really cheerful, you know. I don't know why, but in French it sounds so nicely. I think French language will be the next, either French or Spanish. Both those languages are so nice. I would like to learn someday. But we have someone in the queue, and it is Michael. And yeah, Michael, the mic is yours, please.
Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. So in follow-up to Edgar Allan Poe, let's talk about The Raven. I usually read that around Halloween, right? But I stumbled on something, and that's that the meaning of The Raven, which is it was actually dedicated to mournful and never-ending remembrance. And another little bit of tidbit, in case you ever play trivia, is that it was inspired by Grip, which was in Barnaby Rouge, Tale of the Riots of '80s by Charles Dickens. Okay, so the poem. I guess I got to try to copy this and know where the end is. So I will do it in parts. Give me 1 second here. See how far this gets. It's a kind of a long poem, and I apologize. Lenore, really, there's nothing more. Give me a second. Believe it or not, it is not done. Okay. So about that bite size kind of works. And let's try that. Okay. Edgar Allan Poe is, kind of famous and everything, but I think he's really underrated. And I'm just trying to fill this gap in with something while I'm trying to copy all this in bite sizes that actually don't cut anything off. It's been a while since I've done this. Give me a minute. Whoops, that didn't work. Or did it? Okay. Alright, so now that it's in front of y'all, let me begin. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was a bleak December, and each flying, dying ember brought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore. The rare, from the angel's name, nameless, here. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me, fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "Is some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door? Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door? This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer. "Sirs," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, once again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely there is something at my window lattice. Let me see that what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. It's the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shattered when with many a flirt and a flutter, and there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he. Perched upon my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat. When this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the continents it wore, "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Raven, sitting lonely on the placid bus, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further that he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered. Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, startled at the stillness, broken reply so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master who, merciful disaster, followed fast and followed. So his songs went till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, never more. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I willed a cushioned seat in front of the bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking, fancy onto fancy, thinking when this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat, engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamp light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with lamp light gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Then methought that the air grew denser and perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and naiveth from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind naiveth, and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate set, all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that by that God we both tell this soul with sorrow laden, if with Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, casp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word or sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy break from my heart, and take thy form from my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes of all the scheming of a streaming. By lamplight over streaming throws a shadow on the floor. The soul from that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted ever. And hopefully you guys all got all that, and hopefully I read it right. There you go.
I am sure everyone enjoyed it, and it was a great one. Michael, a big applause for you. And Teal is British, so I am quite sure for she it is interesting to hear this poem to read in American, and she should really appreciate it. By the way, Teal, sis, maybe you have a poem to share, or not? Okay, maybe next time. I was today at the Dash at 6 a.m. Second Lifetime, and there is rough poem, not really edited, but science and just translated with translator because yeah, well, I was a bit lazy with editing it, but I would like to share it. And anybody please want to share a poem, do not hesitate, send me a message and you will be the next reader in a queue. I would love to hear, and I'm reading one more poem in English and in French, both. So I'm posting the poem that I will be reading now from the note card. But as said, it's not edited poem, nothing, just from translator. I hope it will go just okay. And it goes like this. Okay, I pasted everything from note card, even the dashboard. Okay, the prompt word was wind, and I wrote leaf in the wind. The north wind is the softest during the springtime and most striking in winter. Swirled and whirled my thoughts, spun in a bouncy swirling dance. I was the winter today until I saw you and turned within seconds into the spring. Somewhere in my head rang out a lively melody and birds and flowers that revealed your smiling face, and I laughed it, loud and sincere and wholehearted. The north wind blew from the north, and I am dancing in front of the mirror, naked leaf in the wind, waiting for tomorrow, and for you to be present in my wind, and be my wind, and for you to be me. Thank you. It was a poem that I wrote today, and I did have 1 hour for this with a pause, because they do always pause in between. But okay, for 1 hour it's good, I think. Everybody, anybody have a poem? Share, please send me a message. Autumn is also a great poet, but he listens always at that hour. He rarely reads something. However, oh, that was my dog. He make a sound. And that is my daughter smiling right next to me. Sorry for this. Okay, I will read. I will read If You Forget Me by Pablo Neruda. If You Forget Me by Pablo Neruda. I want you to know one thing. You know how this is. If I look at the crystal moon, at the red branch of the slow autumn at my window, if I touch near the fire the impala blush, or the wrinkled body of the log, everything carries me to you, as if everything that exists, aromas, light, metals, were little boats that sail toward those isles of yours that wait for me. Well, now, if little by little you stop loving me, I shall stop loving you little by little. If suddenly you forget me, do not look for me, for I shall already have forgotten you. If you think it long and mad the wind of banners that passes through my life, and you decide to leave me at the shore of the heart where I have roots, remember that on that day, at that hour, I shall lift my arms and my roots will set off to seek another land. But if each day, each hour, you feel that you are destined for me, with implacable sweetness, if each day a flower limps up to your lips to seek me, oh my love, my own, in me all that fire is repeated. In me nothing is extinguished or forgotten. My love, it's on your loved beloved, and as long as you live, it will be in your arms, without leaving mine. Thank you. And it was Pablo Neruda, one of my most favorite poets. I could read him without end, and every time I read his poem, I always feel somehow touched. Just pasted this poem in the local chat. Not sure if Socrates have voice on and can hear us. And anybody have a poem to share, please do not hesitate and send me a message, and you will be the next reader in the queue. We have still 7 minutes of the event, and there still can be 2 poems read. I am meanwhile looking for something I wrote on the Dash event, or was it Socrates is filming? No, really? And he's just telling this now. Sneaky. No, I don't want you to be on YouTube. I'm. Oh God. Okay, good. I appreciate that, of course, because it is good advertisement for our little Sparta. But response to that Neruda poem. Okay. Oh, thank you, Socrates. I was looking for the dashboard, and just a second, guys. For some reason I cannot find the poem I was trying to find, but I didn't have it prepared well. I don't have it. Of course, Michael, please, the mic is yours.
Okay, this one is about history, and I was thinking that while Annika is looking for her poem that she's looking for, we'd have this. My days among the dead are past, and I've never heard it before, so I don't know how good it is. My days among the dead are past, around me I behold, wherever these casual eyes are cast, the mighty minds of old. My never-failing friends are they, with whom I converse day by day. With them I take delight in woe, and seek relief in woe. And while I understand and feel how much to them I owe, my cheeks have often been bedewed with thoughts of thoughtful gratitude. My thoughts are with the dead, with them I live in long past years. Their virtues love, their faults condemn, partake their hopes and fears, and from their lessons seek and find instruction with an humble mind. My hopes are with the dead anon, my place with them will be, and I with them shall travel on, through all futurity, yet leaving here a name I trust that will not perish in the dust. And I believe it's about history, but I don't know.
Awesome, Michael. You're reading always so nicely. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. And I didn't find the poem I wanted to find, but I found a story written by me, kind of poetic story, or poem written in prosa, like it was Event by Lizzie Gutkov by Mirkut again, and I should write a story in which character bumps into someone she saw in a dream or enters a building she dreamed about Ili. And I wrote something like this. I find writing stories is way easier than writing poems, you know, guys? Or maybe because I did it first time, it was like this. Anyway, back to the story. She woke up as she usually did, with the realization that she had dreamed about this stranger again. Oh wait, I forgot to paste it on local chat. Oh, there are two stories inside, but the second I didn't read again. I just read it once. Okay, I read it now. She woke up as she usually did, with the realization that she had dreamed about the stranger again. A dream that repeated itself from time to time, sometimes as a nightmare, sometimes as something much more pleasant. It was 7 a.m. morning. She made herself a coffee, lit up a cigarette, and while drinking, oh god, there are my notices on it. A cigarette, and while drinking, she thought about her plans for today: work, home, lunch, dinner, garden, laundry, and a glass of wine at the bedtime. That is how her day looked like: monotonous, predictable, repetitive activities that make her feel safe. She hated cows. Did she? She left the house, slowly walking towards the bus stop, when suddenly someone pushed her hard from behind and she lost her balance, falling on her knees. She picked herself up, mumbling angrily to meet surprisingly a stranger's gaze. She froze for a moment in consternation. It was him, the same blue eyes, tight lips, and thoughtful gaze. No, he was looking at her with anger. Be careful how you walk, lady. Really? That's all you have to say, fucking idiot, she growled angrily. Rubbing her sore knee, she wondered if everything was okay with her head. And there he was, standing right in front of her, the guy from her dreams. His voice pulled her, pulled her out of her momentary reverie. Are you all right? And the second sentence came out like a hammer blow. Haven't we met before? Was the story? A story. I will never write a book or a book. But it was something nice actually to try. I always keep writing only poetry, and it was nice change. Yes, I am having such plans to make a book, and I want this book in English. That's why I am now going also to a workshop organized by a friend, and we will be teaching each other how to write in English. However, um, guys, it's 11 a.m. and there is, I think, second event schedule. That's why Blitz left. And thank you everyone for coming. And your first time at my event. It's nice to see you here. And thank you for sharing poetry. Thank you, Michael, for coming. Thank you, Sis, that you were here. I know it is not your time to be online, but you did it especially for me. I am very grateful. And of course, Socrates, thank you for your sneaky YouTube video too. Also, thank you guys. Bye. See you around.
Χαίρετε.
Oppo fucking Pacho, you sexy beast.